We are live tonight with Bongani Khumalo, Supersport United defender. Yep, it's gonna be an interesting night.
Futhi
Sawubona bhuti njani?
ngiyaphila kunjani?
Impilo ikhona Nkosi yami.
Hey, I know you are very punctual.
Yeah, well, you have to be. I'd like to think I'm a professional.
No, you are a true professional indeed.
Yeah.
How was your day today?
No, it was all right. We actually played. Sorry, my eyes look tired. We played an in-house practice match at the club.
Mm,
Obviously they released our fixture, and as you can see, we play a game every 2 days. Every 3 days we play. So
mm,
we've tried to simulate that with the training ground. So today was our day to play 11v11. Um,
mm.
so yeah, but good, yeah, good.
Ufit.
Yeah, no, feeling strong. Inyo sasakhona.
I know. That's good.
Yeah.
First of all, Bongani, thank you very much for accepting our invite.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it. And football fans have been dying and wanting to hear about your football journey. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you so much for having me.
Um, yes, I was thinking the other day, Uguti,
Mm.
Eswatini, they should have a statue of you because you are the only Swati player to ever play World Cup.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's my roots. I was born there, and I'm very proud of my roots. But yeah, no, I think I'm okay. I can live without a statue. I've had a very blessed career, and very blessed to still be playing and doing what I love, and I've got great support from my close friends and family, and that's all a man needs really.
Mm. Growing up, Clapham High School, how was life there?
It was all right, eh? I mean, it was good. I went to, obviously normal schooling.
Mm,
If you look at that, I mean, the guys that are around me um, that help me out in terms of business or whatever. I mean, it's guys that I used to play with when I was 12, when I was 13, or guys that I went to high school with. We're still very
mm,
close. So certainly, Clapham holds some very good memories, and I've made friendships. I've had friendships that have started there and have lasted till my adult life today.
mm. And how is Uma? I believe Uma usakhona ngithi.
No, my mom passed away. She passed away a year before the World Cup.
Oh no, no, I'm sorry to hear that.
No, it's all right. I have a guardian
Yeah.
angel, so yeah, life goes on. Life
Life
goes on.
goes on.
Yeah.
Um, Bongani, Akada Shepherds, Amatax.
Mm.
From Akada Shepherds, obviously you went to Amatax and your development started there. Um, how was your life there?
Arcadia is such a rich place in terms of talent. I think growing up in that environment was such a great thing. I mean, like I said, I mean those guys that I played with at under 11, under 10, they're still my friends today.
Mm,
And we still share a bond, even though we may go months or sometimes even years not seeing each other, speaking to each other. But every time we bump into each other, it's like we haven't lost any time.
mm,
Um, so again, it was a special place. I mean, we used to go under 12, we used to play in Aboma, what, maybe 10, 11 in the morning. We used to
mm,
literally spend our whole weekends there. We used to stay, watch the old age group, which would have been under 15. We used to stay, watch under 17, and then later on at night, obviously, you'd get the first team that would play.
mm,
So it's such a place that has such a rich culture of the game.
mm.
So again, I mean, incredible memories and obviously Mark Fish played there as well. Mark Fish
Yeah,
played for
as a
Kaizer Chiefs.
striker.
Yeah, as a striker, we used to hear so many stories about him. Certainly, when
Mm,
I was playing there, when you go to the clubhouse, you used to see his old pictures, his old team photos,
mm,
and I mean, at that age group, he was already playing. Well, when I was that age, he was already playing in the Premier League, and I was watching
mm,
him, playing in a league that I was so desperate to be a part of.
mm. Were you not a striker in those days?
I was actually a midfielder. I was a
Oh, okay.
midfielder come I was a midfielder, come striker now and then or whatever, you
Mm,
know.
mm,
But I actually, yeah, but I actually started. I started playing as a central midfielder, and then when I think when I was 17, there was a trip to with Tux. Now there was a trip to Northern Ireland where we played the
mm,
under 17 tournament there. And when we got there, everyone was big, and I found myself playing centre back, and I've played centre back since.
that's interesting. Then 2007, something happened. SuperSport United.
Yeah, I mean, it was obviously, when you look back, you call it a dream move in a sense that it was a step forward. I think I had a great couple of years with Tux at the time,
Mm,
and Supersport. I was actually a ball boy for Supersport. When I was at Arcadia, so
mm,
it's always a club that I've sort of been around, and I've had a certain feeling towards. So certainly when I signed as a pro for them, it was truly an unbelievable feeling. And Gavin Hunt showed a lot of faith. I think when you sign as a centre back when you're 20, you don't really expect to play every game. And I was injured. When I
mm.
first joined, I remember I got injured during preseason, so I missed like the first month and a half. But certainly once I made my debut, I became a regular, and we went on to win the first league, the second, and then the third. So a truly special period, or a special start rather, to my career as well.
I think I also believe Ugusi, that SuperSport United group was a special group. There were a lot of great players here, the Peter Hobanis, the Dane Clates, the Ricardo Katzas of this world. Surely Gavin Hunt did something special with that group.
Yeah, he did. He did. I think looking back, it's easy to say now, but certainly he made some big calls. He made some big calls, especially wanting to play me ahead of. There were quite a few experienced players, but he
Mm,
picked me to play and he gave me the opportunity. And again, it was a special group. I mean, I played with Boni Soka, Ricardo, as you said. I was in the
mm,
background with him. Tieti Mahoa, who was very terrific, a great personality as well, funny guy in his own
mm,
way, quiet but funny.
mm,
And I learned a lot from those players, certainly in my first career because, my first season, because
mm.
it was a start to my career, in the PSL and as a full-time pro. So yeah, I'm really grateful to those players in that group.
And I believe 2009 they made you the captain.
Yeah, yeah, it was a surprise. It was a funny
Why
story,
you
really.
call it a surprise?
It was because I think if you remember correctly, like I played the first season and the second season when we started, I didn't get a good start, and I was actually on the bench for majority of the first half of that season.
Mm,
And but I continued working, I continued improving, and I'd always speak to Gavin and ask him, what should I do to play, what should I do to improve, and so on. So I just focused on just getting stronger and just learning from those guys that were playing ahead of me, and just making sure that I was ready for my chance. And ultimately, my chance came. And when we had the team meeting, he was like, I remember Katsa wasn't available. I think he might have been there. He wasn't there. I can't remember. Um, but anyways, I remember a team meeting. Gavin, had the chat, and Gavin's team talks always sweet and short. Then I was just like, "Oh, captain today, Bongani." I was like, like I was
mm,
I was so surprised. When I went up to the room and I was getting ready to go to the stadium, I was still trying to process it more than anything. But
mm.
for me, it was just literally just getting my chance back in the team and making sure that I do well for the guys. Because as we would have been challenging for the league, and anyone who comes in, regardless of when it is, you have to sort of you have to take over the baton and keep the flame alive and make sure that we stay close with the top of the league.
Mm. And I remember also in that season, Bongani, you and you there was a controversial incident that involved you and Peter Motsoneng. Remember? I mean, not Peter
Oh
Motsoneng,
yeah,
but Ntshepo Motsoneng. Yeah, around
yeah,
October.
yeah. It was strange, man. Yeah, I mean, I got sent off for a bogus decision.
Mm.
I mean, till today, it's still the only red card I've ever had, really, in my career. So, and
That's
it's
why I
and
could
it's a
easily
weird one.
remember it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, there were talks about the linesman said I spat at him, and I
Mm.
mean, that was absolute nonsense. I mean,
Mm.
we exchanged a few words. We'd been teammates before. We're familiar. I think, the passion is always there. And he came out as well, fair play to him. And he said he was willing to sign an affidavit that never happened, But anyways, my red card stuck and I ended up missing 2 games. But it didn't matter in the end because we ended up winning the league anyway. So.
Obviously, Bongani, you are a very disciplined guy. I mean, from the distance, I could say that no, Bongani is well groomed, well raised, a good personality as well. Dressing room, as a captain, how did you dealt with different characters in the team as a captain now? Because I know that Gavin entrusted you with that responsibility to assist him with keeping the dressing room down or quiet. How did you handle all that different characters?
Well, if you remember at the time, I mean, I was what, 21? I was 21, so I was still very young. I was in my second season. So for me, it was mostly just learning and just trying to take in everything, There were great, big personalities around me. And Andre Aronson was my teammate. Like I said, Ricardo Katza. I mean, there were big personalities in that change room. And for me, it was just, first prize is obviously make sure that my game is right, number one. And if I am a leader or if I am to lead, to lead by example and just keep the fight and inspire in that way. And then in terms of everything else, in terms of seeing the game and communication and talking before things happen, all of that comes with time. But what you can do when you're young, what you can affect is your work rate. That's how you become effective, is if you get your work rate right, you get your commitment right. And, for me, it's always been the best way to lead. So I just basically stuck with that and made sure that every day I'm learning from all those around me. And I mean, I had great support from all the senior players at the time as well.
Are you aware that Independent Online included you in best 50 Bafana players?
No, I'm not aware. I'm actually so surprised.
Yes.
Are you sure? Are you sure that's right?
Yeah, that's right. You were number 47. Best 50 Bafana.
I don't know. I thank God for that, but I did not see that at all. I did not see that at all. I'll be honest with you. Like, I think for me, for me in my career, I've always lived in a bubble. I live in a bubble of focusing on the next game, making sure my body's right, my mind's right, healthy, being around positive people. I don't have many friends. My circle's very small. So I've always focused on that. I don't really watch match day reports or what they say or commentaries. The only thing that matters that is said about the game is what coaches say and what my coach will say and what my teammates will say. The rest, I've never really paid much attention to the outside world. It's important to remain focused on what you need to do.
Are you aware that there are a lot of football fans who actually appreciate you as a football player? Some who even want to be like you in the future?
I don't know. Obviously, I've been in around places and people have had kind words to say. Others don't really have kind words to say, but I guess that comes with it. But for the positive ones, I'm very grateful. And look, if I can inspire someone or give them some hope in terms of changing their lives and wanting to play the game, I mean, it's brilliant. I mean, the way I see it is we just like the same things. Obviously, in order, I think the level that I've gotten to in my career has taken a lot of sacrifice and hard work. And if you're willing to pay the price, you can live whatever life you want. So for me, the game is there for anyone who loves it, anyone who's loyal to it, and anyone who's disciplined enough to remain committed to it.
I want to talk about the 2010 World Cup a little bit before we talk about your journey overseas.
Yeah.
You were not supposed to be in that 2010 World Cup squad, but I mean, the grace of God was upon you, obviously, Bongani. Doors were open for you, and you got an opportunity, and you became a regular during that tournament. Were you surprised that you were picked ahead of players like Siasangweni?
I don't know. I didn't. To be honest with you, I didn't even think that far. Obviously, when you're part of a team, you're part of a squad, you're in camp. I mean, there's a lot of players. You're around very good players, and like I said, I mean, it's important to just focus. At the end of the day, you need to focus on yourself. You need to prepare yourself for the opportunity. You can't control what coaches do, what coaches decide to do. No player can really. So which you can do. Just so all I did is just literally just focus on myself, my work rate, my commitment, and ensure that I learn from the experience. Whether I play 1 minute, 2 minutes, 90, or the whole thing, I need to make. I wanted to make sure that I leave the whole experience. Number one, a better person for it. Stronger, and obviously a better player as well.
Okay, let me ask you this one. Bafana versus Mexico. Bafana leading 1-0.
Yeah.
Mexico got the ball on our right-hand side. Yeah. The cross is played. Who said what to who? Remember that there was one player, because the ball moved from the right to the left, and then it came into our box, and it found the second players free, unmarked. What happened to the communication there?
You're talking about their goal?
Their goal, yes.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, it's football, man. Things happen. Things happen. I don't wanna really go into that much. I mean, it's 10 years ago now, so I think enough has been said about that situation. In a perfect world, obviously that doesn't happen, but unfortunately, football.
We are struggling to hear you, Bongani. I don't know whether your mic is blocked or. We can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, like I said, it's quite some time ago now. I don't want to really go into that, to be honest. A lot of controversial things have been said about that moment, and that's what the game's about. Everyone would have their opinion and their thoughts about the game and what should have done who or whatever. But yeah, I just choose not to speak too much about that publicly.
No, I understand. Change room after the game.
Yeah.
How was the mood like in the camp?
After the first game.
After the first game, yes.
Yeah, I mean, look, we were disappointed because we felt like we could have really nicked it in the end. We could have gone for the win. I mean, Kune played an incredible pass. I mean, Kune was in for an assist. Vela ran through and he hit the upright. I mean, if that goes in, we win the game 2-1. And to be honest with you, I actually never watched the full game completely. Obviously, we would have watched clips after the game during the World Cup, as we would normally. But I've never really watched the whole game, like solid 90 minutes per se, after the World Cup. I would have just watched it after we played it. And watching it again now, when they had all those reruns, a couple of months, like a month ago or so. Yeah, it brought back memories, and it looked, we looked decent. I think we looked decent for it, and I think we deserved better. We deserved to get through to at least the next round.
Third game, set piece, Bongani Khumalo in the air, header, goal, Bafana 2-0 up against France. Yeah. How was the feeling like?
Sure. You need to remember, before that game, our backs were against the wall, because of the previous result. We were really under a lot of pressure. All sorts were said. I mean, after the first game, there was a lot of love and support, and after the second game, a lot of unkind things were said. And I understand, football is an emotional game, and people always react. Supporters always demand a lot, and our country demands so much more as well, and they deserve a lot. So it was difficult. Yeah. We had to, if it was our last game, and as it turned out it was, we had to make sure that we leave a positive impression, and that's what Pereira said. He stressed that he couldn't stress that enough in the team meeting. And again, France. I don't think we'd ever beaten France before. I mean, they were all the world's best players, so I mean, the challenge was there for everyone to sort of step up. And like I said before, Shaba was my roommate. He obviously scored the first goal, and I'd seen how the country and people had reacted to his goal. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, it still resonates till today, the feeling of that goal. But yeah, we had a quick conversation, if any. I think in the tournament before, I'd always run near post, trying to make runs near post, hoping I'd sort of get onto something, and nothing really came. And the one time I went in the back post, Shaba had a great ball flighted, and I put myself up there and got a decisive touch that earned the goal, which is until today is an incredible feeling. Until today, it's the only goal that I've scored for the national team as well. Which is okay. If you're gonna score one, let it be in the World Cup in your own country. So
no one will complain.
Yeah, for
Who
me
was
again,
who,
it's yeah.
now? Who was the first person you called after the game?
Um, the first person actually who actually called me, I was actually reading texts and stuff. It was one
Mm,
of my best friends in high school, Mitchell.
mm,
He was obviously going to the games, and before the game, he'd gone to like Cape Town or somewhere to watch Portugal, right?
mm,
And I asked him the night before, I was like, listen, do you want tickets? Must I keep tickets for you? Are you gonna make it? And I was like, look, I'm stuck in Cape Town. He's gonna try to get there, but I should just give away the tickets. If he gets there, he'll probably just go to a fan park, right?
mm,
So remember, this is my friend. I mean, we've known each other since I was like maybe 14, 13.
mm,
Um, and anyways, I didn't know this, by the way, because obviously on match day, I didn't really speak to people.
mm,
So he drove overnight from Cape Town to Bloem, right? He
mm,
got to the stadium and he ended up buying a ticket off off the guys in the street. He paid a lot of money for it. He was like,
mm,
look, I'm driven all the way to support my friend because obviously,
mm,
the previous job was so bad. And I think he knew the pressure we're under as well.
mm,
He drove the whole night, bought a ticket at a super premium, with his girlfriend, who's now his wife.
mm,
Um, and he sat in the stadium. And when I scored, I ran to the corner where he was sitting. I didn't even know he was in the stadium. So he called
mm.
me after the game. He was like, Bongs, Bongs, did you see me? Did you see me? He's like, you were running to me. I'm like, what do you mean? So, yeah,
Mm.
that was a pretty special moment. Yeah.
Bongani, tell us the team talk with Joel, Natalino, Santana. How were they like at Bafana?
They were interesting. They were interesting. I mean, look, you could tell he's a coach with a lot of character.
Mm,
I think, because of the language barrier, he didn't exactly communicate him well, sort of
mm,
convey his characters as much as he would have wanted to, I think.
mm,
But, football is a universal language. At the end of the day, you're dealing with, international players that are intelligent enough to understand what needs to be done.
mm.
But yeah, he certainly was a character, no doubt. Yeah.
Because I remember that whenever Bafana lost, he couldn't
Yeah.
speak English. But whenever you guys are on, he will try and
Uh, yeah, you see that's part of the football entertainment sector. I stay away from that. I just play the game and I go home. I know. I remember people used to talk about that, like, but yeah, you can look back now and kind of,
and have a good laugh. Yeah.
yeah, have a good laugh in terms, that's what the game's about, good memories.
Mm. And then you got the captaincy, the Bafana captaincy.
Yeah, yeah.
How was the experience like?
Again, different, eh? I mean,
Mm,
different. I mean, when you're captain of Bafana, you're faced with different kind of challenges. You need to answer a lot of sensitive questions.
mm,
You get put through the firing line, and
mm,
that was certainly interesting. I think being around, guys like Benny, obviously with Aaron as well being the captain, just to watch
mm,
them how they handled the pressure and handled whatever was said about them with the outside world, I think helped a lot as well. They were guys that I really spent a lot of time just watching in terms of how they conducted themselves and how they handled the media pressure or the media stress, because that's a big thing in football. People don't realize, you need to
mm,
be able to handle the media side of it as well. Um, and that's something that I learned from Coach Carlos Pereira. I mean, he was
mm,
unbelievable in that. He was so calm, so in control, and he did so well to keep the players away from whatever was being said in the media,
mm,
which what I felt was very, very special. When he
mm,
walked into the room, when you watched him on TV versus the man that walked into a team meeting in a room, it was two different people.
mm,
Honestly, so incredible. I mean, he's got all the experience in the world. I mean, he's won a World Cup, for goodness sake.
mm.
And I learned a lot from that. I learned a lot from that. Yeah, definitely.
Do you think us football fans are too critical of players sometimes?
No, like I said, I mean, football is an emotional game. It's an
Mm,
emotional game. We all love it, and it's something. It's a game that really can excite. It can excite and it can break your heart and it can make your life at the same time,
mm,
all at the same time. And that's
mm.
why we love it. So yeah, it comes with the territory. I think the important thing is just to understand that. Um, it's just part of the game. This is part of the game.
Peter Mosimane at Bafana Bafana. How was it
Yeah.
like? How was
Oh
it
yeah,
like?
no, yeah, no, great. I mean, he's an incredible coach. He's always been an incredible coach. I think his attention to detail is second to none, really.
Mm,
Certainly, people don't know this, but certainly in the World Cup, I mean, I approached him and asked him to help me because I knew I didn't have the experience, but I was willing to learn very fast. And with all the friendlies that we played leading up to the World Cup, I would ask
mm,
him, like, where do you think I could improve or whatever? And he would literally, Pizzo's the kind of
mm,
coach who would tell you, Bongs, in the 22nd minute, your body was turning left instead of turning right. Like
mm,
he pays that amount of detail to things.
mm,
And
mm,
certainly, like I said, I mean, with me, he was unbelievable during that period in terms of helping me with my game at that level. And he got his chances, deserved chances as a national team coach. And unfortunately, I think he was very, very unlucky with what happened with the national team at the time.
mm,
Um, um, but when it comes to his coaching qualities, commitment to the game, I think that's clear to
mm,
see. And I'm honestly very happy for him with all of his success at Sundowns.
mm.
Yeah,
Coming back to your club career, Bongani, 2011, Tottenham
yeah,
Hotspurs.
yeah,
I think you are the fourth South African to play for Spurs. First,
yeah,
it was Quinton Fortune, then it was OJ Mabizela, Stephen Pina, and it was you.
yeah.
How was it like for you?
Yeah, it was a great experience. Obviously, it was a big jump, from the PSL, if you think about it.
Mm,
But yeah, great opportunity, great, 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 great club, massive club.
mm,
And the first year was tough. And I was working. I knew I wasn't a finished product. I knew I had to work really hard to adjust to a new culture, um, a new mentality, and just an all-round different way of playing the game. The
mm,
intensity of the Premier League is incredible, and the quality is out of this world. So, but yeah, I learned a lot, and unfortunately, it's something that is bittersweet because I didn't play really for the first team. I was on
mm,
the bench a few times, and there were
mm,
times where I was so close to getting my chance, but it just never happened.
mm,
I was loaned out. I went out on loan to get experience because it's all good and well being at Spurs, but just sitting on the bench and not getting games doesn't help you much. So I went out on loan to make sure that I get, good experience, and I went to Greece for a year, came back, and I was at Doncaster. And
mm,
if you play in the Championship, anyone will tell you that's a tough, tough league. It's a very tough
mm,
league. Blood and
mm,
thunder. You play Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday. It's relentless. And I felt I was really doing well there. I felt
mm,
a good season there, and I was ready to sort of go to Spurs and compete. And in that year, I found myself. Well, I came for a Bafana game, and I found myself in a bed in Rosebank, wondering whether I'll ever kick a ball. I think the
mm,
injury that I suffered against Brazil was, it could have. I think if it was anyone else, I think their career would have ended. But I'm so blessed
mm,
to still be playing.
mm,
I had to work incredibly hard. I mean, it was something. I think that injury is something that's tested me in ways that I've never imagined, really.
mm,
Um, but again, like I said, great support system. I had
mm,
incredible physios here in South Africa, by the way, because I got injured here and I
mm,
stayed here. By the
mm,
time I went back to Spurs, it was literally just to get the strength back and obviously the football part. But the surgery was done here. All the initial physio, the acute sort of physio and stuff. I mean, all of that was done. Yeah, all of that was done in South Africa. So
mm.
yeah,
And obviously, Spurs, like you mentioned, they loaned you to Doncaster. At
mm,
Doncaster, again, you were not the first South African to play for Doncaster. I
mm,
think Dean Furman was there, and
yeah.
Quinton Fortune also played for Doncaster. Was it a totally different environment from what you were used to, or was it one and the same thing, like playing for a championship club and
Yeah.
playing for a EPL club? Was there any difference?
It's different. Yeah, it's different because I mean, you can imagine at Spurs, you're around Jermaine Defoe, you Gareth Bale. I mean, William Gallas. William Gallas I mean, he's won the Europa. I think no, not Europa. He won the. Is it the UEFA Cup?
Uh,
The Euro.
Um,
Sorry, Euro. He's won.
you,
He's won. Yeah, the Euros. Yeah, he won the Euros, and he's been in World Cups, and I mean, he's done so much in the Premier League. I mean, he's played for Chelsea. He's won trophies there. You got those guys, and with all due respect, you can't. I mean, you can't. You can't really. I mean, the two are worlds apart, different worlds, but still tough, tough worlds, definitely.
your teammate Teboho Mokoena is here. He's saying he's talking about your accent.
Yeah, I must tell him he must read that boy there. He must read
tell
it.
me, tell me. I
It's
know that.
unfortunate. If my mom was still alive, Shame, if my mom was still alive, you'd help him. You would teach. My mom was an English teacher, so there you go, Tips. Something you didn't know about me. And I see him every day, every day. Hey,
And
hey.
it doesn't want to read.
Ah, this boy, man, no, man. But yeah,
Tell me.
anyways, no, he's a good boy though. Very good, very committed. Good future, good future.
Yeah, he's a very, very good boy, and we appreciate him a lot. Tell me,
Yeah.
your teammates tease you about your accent as well. All of them.
Yeah, I've been getting it, my man. I've been getting it for the past, what, how long? 13, 15 years I've been getting it. So it's no different, you know. I can't change being me.
You know, these guys were teasing me in the afternoon. They were saying that, hey, my
Uh,
English will be depleted because I'll be chatting to the professor.
Mr. English. Oh my word. You know how much abuse I've had. You know how much abuse I've had about that as well. It never ends, but it's all good. I take it in good spirits. It's all right.
No, that is good. But
Yeah,
anyway, um, 4 PSL titles.
yeah.
You cannot fluke that.
Hey, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, look, it's a great feeling. Yeah, I think I'd like to think that that just shows, you know, commitment that I've shown to the game. And you must remember, to win league titles, you need to be a team player as well, because
Mm,
you won't always have a good day, you know, over 30 games. There's
mm,
some days where you need your teammates to bail you out and vice versa. So
mm,
again, it's all due to the groups that I've been a part of, and definitely the coach. I mean, all those have come with one coach.
mm,
So I mean,
mm.
there you have it. Yeah, there you have it.
So Gavin cannot win a league title without you.
I don't know. Maybe I can't win a league title without Gavin.
Because Dan Clay said the same thing. Said, I know Gavin cannot win a league title without him.
Is it? Yeah. Well, maybe with me it's vice versa then. I can't win a league title without Dane and Dane and Gavin then.
Yeah,
I,
interesting.
I I need both of them. Yeah.
You need both of them. Do you think SuperSports will stand a chance now that the league is back?
Yeah, we got 6 games, you know, 6 games, and we got points up for grabs. All we
Mm,
can do is control what we can. We can, and that's important. And then the rest, you know, the rest will play out as it should.
mm.
But yeah, you know, the best we can do is just get as many points as we can from the games we have left, and go from there.
Uh,
So there's always a
uh,
chance.
yeah, no, I'll come back. I'll come back on that one. But I need to ask you about your time in Greece, because a lot
Mm.
of people are not aware that you also played in Greece.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. At
I
the
was
time,
like,
you know what? You know what? I'll be honest with you. At the time, also, I just went dark. Like I wasn't doing interviews. I wasn't, you know, I
mm,
wasn't out there. I wasn't, you know, I wasn't on social media. I mean, even now, my account's on private. So
mm,
I just basically just went back to just focusing on the game, like I always have, and just not worry about what happens on the outside.
mm.
But Greece was an interesting one. You know, it took a little while to get going and adjust again, but in the end, you know, I really enjoyed it, and I've made good friends from that part of the world.
Mm.
Greece is a vibey place to live in.
So you were enjoying nightlife there.
Nah, you don't want to call it nightlife. I think it's just the quality of life was good.
Mm.
I mean, we used to train at 4, by the way, which is strange.
For
I
in the
remember
afternoon.
yeah, just to give an example, what I'm talking about.
Mm,
Like when I got to Greece and I made a few friends, I remember I called them at 7. I was like, "Hey guys, what are you doing? Do you want to go grab some food or somewhere?" The guys
mm,
are like, "My friend, you want to go for lunch?" I was like, "No, do you want to go for dinner? It's 7 o'clock, like it's 8 o'clock." He's like, "No,
mm.
no, no, my friend, no, no. Now is lunch. Dinner is 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Okay, we go for dinner." So
Very
that
good.
was the lifestyle. You know, Mediterranean lifestyle, everything is late. Like I
Mm,
promise you, you go 11 o'clock, all the restaurants are buzzing, you know, people are
mm,
out. I mean, it's such a
mm,
vibey place. And yeah, like I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I enjoyed the football. You know, the club Park is a massive club. They're so passionate. I mean, when we arrive at the stadium, I mean, the away fans, Park fans, it would
mm,
be full. They'll be singing already by the time we
mm,
get there. I mean, honestly, incredible fans. I mean, the songs they used to sing, I mean, I still hear them at night as well. I mean, the
mm,
fans are
mm.
unbelievable. Yeah.
Did you attend any weddings in Greece?
No.
Because I know that you are going to enjoy the breaking of plates.
No, yeah, no, no, unfortunately, no. But I've had a couple of Greek friends get married in South Africa, though, so I've managed to break plates in South Africa, funny enough.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, you're good at breaking plates. Now I know.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen you trying to cook, Bongani. Can you cook?
Yeah, well, I've got no choice.
Oh,
I've
we
got no
fought.
choice. I need to learn. Yeah, but my cooking is nothing that you'd want to taste, to be honest. I cook very bland food. Boiled veggies and rice and meat in the oven and sorted. I
Mm,
try and eat. I try and eat clean because it's good for the body. And you stay young and you stay fit that way. It's all about. I think that's one thing you need to remember as an athlete is it's not just food. You need to see it as like fuel, basically. So if
mm,
you have a sports car, you need to put quality fuel in it.
mm. Why are you still a bachelor?
Why am I a bachelor? Woo! Be here all day long, man. Be here all day long. It's rough out here. It is rough.
It's
It is
not.
rough. Or maybe I'm just a
Um,
difficult person to be around. Maybe I
okay,
don't know.
or it's not the Pretoria hands, eh?
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, maybe that'll change soon. We'll see. We'll
I
see.
know, Bongan. Bongan, you must make a plan. I know that you are a very charitable guy. During this lockdown, you donated your whole salary, something
Yeah,
that is unheard of in the country.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, look, I've tried to help out wherever I could, whatever I've been able to, throughout
Mm,
my career.
mm,
Um, and now, all it was just I was fortunate enough to be in a position to help out the way that I did. And I'm not the only one. So many people have done so much during this period, and all I did is just do what I could.
mm,
Uh, and that's all there is to it, really. Poverty is not something new to us in our country, so
mm.
it's important, whenever you can, to just help out.
Would you consider coaching in the near future?
I don't know. I don't know. I've thought about it. I've thought about it. I think the important thing is to for me to figure out. I always loved the game. I mean, it's been a part of my life.
Mm,
All of my life really,
mm,
and I've spent so much. I've committed so much of myself to the game. I think in all areas. So, I think I just need to just decide the day I do hang up my boots, in what capacity I'd like to stay in the game. If I do
mm,
find myself as a coach, then so be it. But it needs to be something that I enjoy, something that I love, and something that still gives me that special feeling on the inside, whatever it is, whether it be coaching or if I'm coaching, am I coaching kids or professional ranks or whatever it
mm.
is.
So what is it like now to play under Coach Kaitani? Because I know that, I mean, Coach Gavin, yeah, Coach Alberto Pereira, Joel Santana, Peter Mosimane, and now you are under Coach Kaitani. Those are different characters altogether. How is
Yeah.
it like to play under Coach Kaitani?
Yeah, of course. I mean, obviously, you try and learn from every coach that you come across. I
Mm,
think every coach can help you in some way or teach you something new. So, and that's how it's been with Coach Gaetano.
mm,
Obviously, I've known him for a long time. He was in and
mm,
around the club when I started.
mm,
So he's not a total stranger per se. But now obviously he is my boss, and ultimately you need to do what the boss demands of you. So
mm.
like every other coach that I've had, really. So yeah, that's about it.
I know that you said you don't have a big circle of friends, but do you have friends in football?
Yeah, yeah, I've made some amazing friends. I mean, I still got friends in Europe that I talk to as well.
Mm,
Still get along. Obviously now, I think now we're so lucky with the technology that we have. It's a lot easier
mm,
to remain in touch without having to phone someone. So yeah, I still stay in touch with some guys in Europe and different parts of the world where we have come across good people and good teammates.
mm. Who's your best friend now at Super Sports?
I don't really have a best friend. I'd like to
Mm,
think I get along with everyone.
mm,
Ultimately, you must remember it's work colleagues and you're all
mm,
pushing in the same direction.
mm,
So,
mm,
with adequate respect, for the game and each other, you can achieve certain things. And at the end of the day, that's why we're there.
mm.
As a collective, we need to achieve, and we're all pulling towards the same goal. So, I try and get along with everyone and go from there.
Bongani, I know that this might sound like an unfair question, but why do you think most South African players don't really make it overseas?
Oh, it's a tough one, eh? It's a difficult one. It's a difficult one. I mean, it's you must remember overseas. People think overseas is just they just think about playing soccer, but you're also human. There's a life to it as well, and there's
Mm,
so many challenges in life. There's other things that happen outside of football. You know, people must
mm,
remember soccer players aren't robots.
mm, mm,
You know, we all got problems, we all got challenges, and we all have things that work out and things that don't work out. So
mm,
but the important thing is, you know, for me, I don't see my European journey as not working out. You know, like
mm,
life happened. You know, I had an injury. I didn't qualify for work permit in England anymore, and I had to make a
mm,
decision. You know, in terms of my life, I probably could have gone somewhere else in a different part of Europe or and so on. But if I looked at the offers, they weren't really worth it. So yeah, you know, we all make decisions based on our livelihoods and our lives. I mean,
mm,
that's I think that is the most important. That's the most important part of it all. Um, as to why South African players don't go or make it or so on, I have no idea. But there's been a lot of players that have gone to Europe and have had good careers. You know, they've had great
mm,
careers. They've changed their lives for their families. I mean,
mm,
not every South African player that goes to Europe is going to become like Messi or Ronaldo, but you can definitely have a good career. You can definitely change your life and your family's life.
mm,
And at the end of the day, life goes on. You know, football will come and go, and your career will start and end.
mm. And what is your opinion of the current crop of players that are representing us at Bafana level? You know that we've got the likes of Pesitao. Pesitao's experience is almost same like yours, being loaned from one club to the next. What
Mm.
is your opinion on such players?
You know what my opinion is. I think in South Africa people don't understand this whole loan thing. People think, you know, if you're on loan, you're not good enough or whatever,
Mm,
which is not the case. At the end of the day, if you're on loan, that means someone else wants you. You can add
mm,
value to them, and that is good for your career as well because you know what, you get experience, you get to grow, you get to improve, and that'll
mm,
put you in a better position to go to your parent club and compete for a place to play. And that's the same
mm,
thing. I had a conversation with Percy as well. I told him when he left. I
mm,
spoke to him. I was like, bro, listen, you do whatever you need to do to make yourself ready. Don't let anyone put you under pressure in terms of, why are you going on loan or whatever. I'm like, no, go
mm,
on loan, get games, get the experience. And it takes time. You don't just get there and all of a sudden you're a big. That's what people don't realize. People realize if you do well in the PSL, you're just going to get to Europe and do well. No, my friend,
mm,
it's a different level. It's a different mentality. You need to adjust. You need to readjust. You need to relearn new things and learn to apply yourself in a different manner. And Percy's
mm,
been, for me, Percy's been unbelievable in terms of that. Even
mm.
Kamo Mokocho, he's been fantastic.
Oh yes.
You know, he's playing in the championship. The championship's a tough league, and people look at the championship
Now
like
they're in
it's
the final.
nothing. Yeah, and if you think of like you look at Percy's out on loan. Let me tell you something, my friend. Percy is still getting the same money he was promised at his parent club. Nothing changes. Your pocket
Mm,
doesn't change. That means your life is taken care of, your family is taken care of, and you're playing in, week out. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
mm,
And at the end of the day, you are improving yourself, your game, and your life, and your family's life, and that's what
mm,
matters. So, um, and I wish Percy all the best, and I think he will do well at his parent club if when given the chance because he's had the
mm,
experience. And that's the case for a lot of our players that are there. I mean, Bongani Zungu as well as in France. It's not easy in these places, but I give these guys credit because they are sticking it out. You know, they're there, they're sticking it out, whether they're playing every week or every other week or whatever. They are there, and they're being strong, and that's what it's about. And one day they'll get a good chance to make a big name for themselves.
you see Bongani, why it's important for people like you to be on platform like this so that you'll be able to educate us football fans, because sometimes we make uninformed opinions and we conclude on players' careers because we are ill-informed. That,
Yeah,
that was great wisdom from you.
yeah. To be honest, that's something that I realized when I was playing as well. I realized there was the news, like when I was in Europe, the news that got back home was like, who are they talking about?
Mm,
Like I don't understand what you're being told. They used to write things in the paper, and my friends obviously used to tell me these things, and I'm like, bro, like I won't even correct it. I was just like, you know what, leave it. I'll leave it.
mm,
Because at the end of the day, I need to focus on football. But certainly there was a massive miscommunication
mm,
in a lot of instances. Why that is, I have no idea.
mm,
But you know, it is what it is. But what I can tell you from my experience and all of that is guys like Percy and that need to be respected because it's not easy when you go there. You're out your comfort zone. You're alone in a foreign country, and my brother, you're a foreigner, like you're a black foreigner. That's not easy. That's not easy, my friend. Yeah.
And what is your opinion on the quality of journalism in the country then?
I don't know. I can't say. I can't say. Like I said, I mean, I don't really, you know, follow that side of the game as much. You know, I know obviously I get asked for interviews and opinions on certain things, and I say what needs to be said, or you know, I can share my thoughts, and that's about it. But I don't spend too much time, you know, following up or chasing or whatever it is. So, I mean, that's to be honest, that's not, you know, that's not my area of expertise, anyways.
Who do you think is the next big star in South Africa? A player that you think will take the PSL by the storm.
You know what? You know what I always say about this? I think every season presents a new chance for any player to be the new hit. That's what it is. You know, every season, even now with the last few games, you know, it's a chance for someone to step up and shine and make a name for themselves. And I think that's why we love this game, is that, you know, every season, you know, there's a new talent that's birthed, or that's sort of, you know, catapulted into you know, fame and stardom, and that's great. That's great for the game. It's always great for the national team as well if they're South African. So at this point in time, obviously I can only speak of the players that I play with, and we have some really incredible talent at SuperSport. That I believe, you know, if they keep working and keep their heads level and they've got the right people around them, they can achieve whatever they want to in the game.
Do you think that our players are able to handle fame well?
It's a personal thing. Do you know what I mean? It's it is honestly a personal thing. I mean, they say if you really want to get to know a man, give him a lot of money, you know? So I don't know, or maybe I'm just the only one that says that or thinks that. But at the end of the day, it's really a personal thing. I mean, how you handle it is your business. I mean, you've worked for it, you know? You've worked for it. Who am I to tell you what you're supposed to or not supposed to do? So, you know, you do what makes you happy, and you express yourself and express your talents, and that's all that matters. Yeah. For the rest, you know, the rest is obviously up for opinion. And only time will tell whether you've handled it well. That's all. That's all I can say about that. Yeah.
Your best PSL 11.
Oh,
Bongani
yeah.
Khumalo's best 11.
Yeah, I can't go into that now. It's too many players I've played with. I don't want to disrespect anyone.
No, Bongani. No, Bongani.
But no. Seriously, I'm very sensitive with those kind of things. But what I will say is, like I said, I mean, certainly the teams that I've won the league with have been special teams, and I appreciate all those guys that I played with. You know, whether it's a guy who played 1 game, 20 games, 30 games, 2 minutes, everyone's appreciated in a league victory, because everyone contributes to in order to win leagues. So yeah.
If you were to pick your favorite centre back partner, who would it be?
Well, I think it's not news. You know, it's not news that, you know, Morgan and I had some great years at SuperSport. I think, you know, I'm very I'd like to think that when people think about the successes of the club, you know, will be obviously mentioned as a centre back pairing that contributed a lot to the club's success. So yeah, I mean, he's definitely one guy that I enjoyed playing with back in the day, and we had some great memories.